What's up, Knights of X, and welcome to video number 2 for today. We have to talk about what Capital Games just dropped on us in a matter of 30 minutes. New Conquest character, new Datacron set, bug fixes, Cassian Andor unlock, tons of stuff that I'm probably missing, all dropped in a matter of 30 minutes. It is crazy what is happening. If you guys aren't aware, Cobb Vanth is coming to the game as the next Conquest character, lifting a team I didn't even know existed until now, with a brand new faction. It's going to be crazy. If you guys don't know who Cobb Vanth is, he's in The Mandalorian Season 2, is rocking Boba Fett's armor, is kind of like the sheriff of the town, helps take down the Krayt Dragon, and gives the armor back to Mando. Big fan of the character. I think he's really cool. I think Timothy is an awesome actor as well. Really, really good in that show. And if you guys, caught the end of Season 2, he's still hanging with us. He had a really hard showdown with Cad Bane, but he's still gunning for more, so we might see some more of him in the Mandoverse. But that was dropped today. Also, we are getting 5,000 free error level currency, or error currency, that gives you a free Lightspeed token of your choosing. So that's going to be huge for my free-to-play account, and huge for players that are wanting a certain character at Relics. We're getting a free pretty much token, 5,000 error currency for everyone in their roster. So without further ado, I want to show you guys where I'm finding this all out. So we're going to head over to Discord right away for the data mines. And really quick, you're going to see him in game, but Cobb Vanth, this is a little bit of a sneak peek of what he's going to look like. And he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool, like I said, Mando Season 2. I thought he was going to be like a Scoundrel-esque type of character and lifting up the Scoundrel faction, but he's creating his whole separate faction, and we're going to get into it later on in the video. But he's coming to the game. He's going to be a Conquest character, and they've already come out with the feats, so we got to talk about that as well. New Conquest feats are here, so that is awesome. That's the first set of news that we got to discuss. Next up, they're talking about the Cassian Andor unlock and how to get him, and pretty much going over into detail here. And able to unlock Cassian, you're going to need to have 5 characters at 4 stars. So over here we have Clea Marquis, Bel Sarath, Cinta Kaz, Dedra Miro, and Major Partagaz, 4-star required. You're going to need them at error level 45 to be able to unlock him. Number 2, so that's going to be enough to get Cassian at 4-star. Next thing, it's going to be the same exact thing. You're going to need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them at 5-star, and then required to play, you're going to be error level 55. So you're going to be able to unlock Cassian at 5-star if you have that available. Now, the final 2, 6-star, but this time you need the KX security droid to be able to get a Cassian at 6-star. He needs to be, the whole team has to be, the whole era has to be at 6 stars to be able to get the 6 and 7-star version. So pretty much the same thing as Maul. I don't think there's anything different with that. They're going over a lot of his kit and his lore, practically talking about what he's going to be doing and stuff like that, and the event a little bit. So if you guys aren't aware, if you guys went for the 4-star variant, they're also going to be getting some Lightspeed tokens, as well as the 5-star. You're going to get 3. 4-star, I believe it's 2. So it's very well worth it if you're getting these characters. The 4-star is free to play. You get those tokens. Very good for the early game process. This next up is talking about Cobb Vanth and what he is going to be doing for Galaxy of Heroes. So they're getting into the lore that he earned his reputation across Tatooine as a steady hand of justice and a dangerous frontier. So pretty much what they're doing with his kit and the lore is trying to show that he's a warrior of justice, that he's going to be taking out all the criminals, kind of like a cop or something like that. Just taking out raiders, criminals, powerful syndicates, like the Pikes and stuff like that. So that's going to be his main purpose in Galaxy of Heroes. And they're creating a whole new faction called the Constable faction, which is going to consist of the most random characters I've ever seen for a team. Like, this seems like almost like an April Fool's joke, like kind of like a meme. I didn't believe it when I saw it. But over here, Coruscant Underworld Police, Lobot, and Cara Dune are getting this tag. So, the team's going to be Cobb Vanth with Cup, Lobot, and Cara Dune. We're missing someone else, but like they're saying he's going to be giving, the enemy team's going to be having Outlaw, and he's going to be giving all these different bonuses against Heart Cartel, Pirates, Scoundrels, Smugglers. It's cool in terms of lore. We're going to head into game because I'm pretty sure he's in game. I want to show you guys his kit, but there's one really cool thing unique about this character compared to the rest, and that is he has 3 separate GAC Omicrons that affect different game modes. That's a first of its kind. So over here, you're going to see, it's going to show in a second, Like all Conquest characters, Cobb Vanth has 3. However, for the first time, these will be for different game modes. He has one for TB, Territory War, with the Tusken synergy, and one for Grand Arena, including Jawa synergy. So he might have some plug-and-play options with different teams. I don't really know. He might be working with someone else too. Like, I have to look more into his kit. I haven't gone deep dive yet. This is the first time I'm reading this, but from what I saw, it's a new faction with those characters, but maybe with these Omicrons turned on, he's going to be assisting different types of teams, which is kind of cool. So this is interesting. You get to choose where you want to apply his power, not really dedicating certain specific characters to certain game modes. Like Mace Windu is pure TW, Balin Skull is pure GAC. He's giving you different types of options and different viability for different game modes. So it's kind of interesting, and it creates, honestly, interesting gameplay. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We're going to talk about more about his kit in a second. But the next news they want to talk about is the introduction to Major Partagaz, who's going to be the next marquee character. They're going over his kit and stuff like that. Not going to get into crazy detail about all of that stuff. But over here, they're talking about Lightspeed bundles. This is including a 5-star Old Ben, it looks like. Level 1, Ability 1. So you're getting a Lightspeed bundle for Old Ben, Sidious, Darth Vader. I don't know exactly how much this is going to be, if this is free. I don't think it's going to be free, but Mando, Lightspeed bundle for Mando, Maul, called a merge unit, so not really sure what that is. Kind of interesting. But just letting you guys know, there are some Lightspeed tokens or bundles on the way with these characters, so not sure how they're going to be pricey or how they're going to be, but we're going to have to find out. Next thing, this is interesting. This is a platoon ability called the Way of the Mandalore Disabled. And it says currently locked ability, and it's showing you different levels of the platoon. So this looks like a TB thing. Allies recover 10% health protection at the start of their turn. Whenever an ally has turn meter removed, they gain retribution for 2 turns, so that's interesting. And then the last part is allies gain 20% max health, 10% offense, and 10 speed for each active Mandalorian ally. At the start of battle, the first time a Mandalorian ally would be defeated, they gain damage immunity for 2 turns, which cannot be dispelled. So it has to pertain to some sort of TV planet or a new planet, maybe. I'm not really sure. But it's a platoon ability. It might be added to Mandalore. We're going to have to see. So, wanted to showcase all of this. This is very interesting stuff. It says platoon ability. Now, really quick before I get into the different updates and notes. This is the new Conquest feats. And I took a quick glance of it earlier before on my commute home. And to be honest with you, at quick glance, it's not going to be a problem for endgame, but I could totally see this being a bit of an issue for early game players, because there are a lot of callouts to very exclusive characters that might not everyone have. Like, you're going to see Stranger, Maul Hate Fueled, Satele Shan, all the new marquee characters. So, not saying it's going to be impossible. I'm going to be coming out with a Conquest guide going over each and every one of these feats and how to obtain them, as well as sector guides. But at first glance, very possible. Sector 5 looks a little grindy with the fracture ability, but we can figure that out kind of fast, hopefully. Like a nice little cheese. But in case you guys are wondering, if you go into Discord, Conquest Volume 23 feats are available for you guys to look at, and I'll be working on that guide right away. So, what I want to do now is there's a bunch of different notes here. And I don't believe I opened up this one, so we're going to open this one up together. This is pretty much the update for today. They're going over the news. Asajj Ventress Dark Disciple is now available from Darkside 9B. Now, one thing about these new marquee characters that I'm noticing is they're going on very expensive nodes. So they're making it really, really hard to obtain Maul free to play, because this requires 100 energy. It's not like 60 or 80. It's in a very expensive node. So if you're not done farming your Luke, your Yoda, and Chewie, it can be kind of, tedious with that extra regular energy. So I've noticed they're making it quite challenging, and we haven't seen any of them on a fleet node yet. So a little disappointing that they're making it very difficult, but it is what it is. Next thing, CC1119 Apo is now accelerated. So if you guys are going for Lord Vader clones or Master Mace, he's been accelerated 2 shards. That's awesome. Over here, they're going over bugs and adjustment fixes, some grammatical errors, an issue with the level 9 description of Kyle Katarn and Cal Kestis. Imperial Trooper, not counting as an Imperial Trooper in PvE, or it was Stormtrooper, it looks like. Adjusted a description of a Tusken ability with gaining momentum. Something with bounty hunters. Looks like the Cody Kron is getting an updated description to match its functionality, which is disappointing because I thought that Kron was going to have a lot more potential, but they're going to say they're going to refund the materials at a future date, so we'll have to see about that. Zuckuss is gaining turn meter at the start of battle when enemies have foresight. That's a bug. Something with Dedra's quest. Vel's undermine Omicron. Sabine Wren's stun immunity wasn't dispelling correctly in Balin's event. And now Krennic is going to be summoning Death Trooper with his abilities at max level instead of the base ability level. So, that is the update for today. But there's a lot more to come with it. Before I get into game to show you guys the free currency that we're getting, because I haven't claimed it yet, I want to show you really quick a weird investigation with Satele Shan that is not working as intended with GL Ray. So I'm going to show you guys their posts. Satele investigation. Hello, Holotable Heroes. The team is investigating reports of Satele interacting with Galactic Legend Ray that is causing the characters to overperform. We'll keep you posted as we find out more. So, I'm going to have to assume this is a call out from Arnold's video of yesterday. Not that we really got to see a lot of its potential on defense. I think it's going to be strong, but not over the top strong. But if I had to guess, it's probably in 3v3, maybe going to be just Galactic Legend Ray, Wat Tambor, and Satele Shan, because she's going to have permanent taunt, and it's going to be hard to get going. But I don't know for sure. That could be completely false. It could be Ray, Ben, Satele Shan. We're going to have to see. But it seems if you have permanent taunt on Satele, it's going to cause issues for the enemy team. So we're going to have to see how that's, what they're going to do with that. I hope they don't nerf Satele and just fix the interaction with Ray that they want to stop. But do not nerf Satele. I kind of like the idea that she could be a plug-and-play kind of tank for teams. So I'm kind of curious to what they have to announce for this. And over here, they're going over the comments, and people don't seem to be happy about it at all. Anyone half a brain could figure out putting something new with GL Ray. Like, honestly, this game, the way Ray is, her kit is designed is that any light side character, we're always thinking, what can she do with Ray? Because Ray is one of the most annoying defensive teams in this game. So if I was a developer and I was coming out with any overpowered light side character or tank or anyone in general that's going to synergize with GL Ray, I would seriously do testing with that character because she seems to be a major problem with the majority of issues. So, but looks like no one's really happy about it. Like I said, I do not want them to nerf Satele. That would be a big, big no-no. So, want to let you guys know because Grand Arena is going to be in about an hour from posting this video. She seems to be good with Ray if you don't want to use her on offense or if you don't want to set her with a standard Old Republic team. So I had to talk about that. Now, there's a Datacron investigation. I don't know exactly what's going on. They just posted the team is investigating reports about issues with the power for hire set. As more information is found, I will update this post. So, not sure what they're really talking about. And over here, what's about the most vague comment I've seen in quite some time? What issue are you referring to with the power? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to diss Meathead, but I would like to know what the actual issue is with the set. Because if it's something with functionality and Datacron performance, we should probably know that because Grand Arena is going to begin, like I said, very, very shortly. So, issues happen, bugs happen, but I kind of want to know what the issue is so that we can address it and maybe fix our strategy going forward. But again, I don't know exactly what it is. I'm going to be streaming later, so I'll let you guys know if I find out. Next thing is going to be, we got a post about this Kyber Mercenary Lightspeed token, and I'm not really sure how we're going to be obtaining this. I don't know if this is a paid thing, but it's going over that we're going to be getting a Mercenary token, level 85, Gear 13, and Relic 6. Doesn't include Zetas or Omicrons. It gives the base level 7. So these are all the mercenary characters. You get to choose which one you want to bring. The question is I don't know if this is going to be something we have to purchase or something we are obtaining on our own. So wanted to include that. It was part of the post. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be an upcoming Datacron set already announced. And I haven't done a lot of research into it yet. I'm obviously going to go into a Datacron review video at one point, but I wanted to show you a quick glance at the stats and stuff like that. Defense is back, crit damage, health, offense, protection, armor pen, and potency. So all really good stats. I haven't looked at the level 3s yet. Looks like Dark Side's getting Terminator again. Light Side is getting the buffs on a special. I don't really like this whole Datacron. I don't want to go on a rant for a second, but this whole constant Datacron cycle, everything is so exhausting. Like, give us a break. I don't know. Mini Vex rant for the video. But anyway, the factions are Inquisitors and Rebels. I haven't looked at the level 6s yet. I have taken a peek at the level 9s. And my god, Hera Syndulla is looking pretty good. Pretty good. So, if you guys aren't aware of where to obtain this, go on swoka.gg, go to the Datacron section under database, I believe, database, Datacrons, and you're going to see all of this. But you'll get a huge review from me later on going over each and everything you're going to want to obtain. But this is another thing that bothers me. It's like, we have a focused Datacron for Inquisitor Barriss. Why are you giving us a regular set with Inquisitor Barriss? It's so annoying. It's like, they keep making us have to choose between Mercenary Datacron, Balin-focused Datacron. The Mercenary Datacron is now useless because you have a Balin-focused Datacron. It's like, stop double dipping with us and just use different teams and different factions. It's really frustrating. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just speaking from the truth and the heart. It's like, if you're going to release a Datacron set, don't let it mess with the focused Datacrons. Let us use the focused Datacrons that we all went for. It just seems like kind of like a waste that they're making us choose and stuff like that. But again, these are all the characters to the level 9s. The stats are pretty strong. Haven't taken a look at the 6 or the 3s into much detail, but it is here. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you guys, because the majority of the community, this is going to be huge. And I mentioned it earlier in the video. If you go into your inbox, customer support, we apologize for any inconvenience you may have incurred. Here are some items to help you along your way. 5,000 error currency. That is massive. If I go to claim that right now, I can go into the error shipments and I could purchase one of these tokens for 5,000. That's pretty much a free Relic 5 6-star character of my choosing. So if I'm getting close to a farm and I want to use it on someone, I now am able to do that. Maybe I can finish up Bo-Katan or get my unaligned first users up and running. So this is a huge thing. And also, if you guys are late game, you get your Relic 10 material. If you feel like getting a bunch of Gear 12 characters, you could also use it here. So that is pretty massive. Now, what I want to do next is I want to go over Cobb Vanth's kit together, because I have not taken a look yet. And he should be in game. So he's going to be under this new faction. Anyway, he's right here, it looks like. So pretty cool model. Definitely looks like him. I like it. Basic ability, think it through. Let's read this. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain tenacity up for 1 turn. If the target enemy was dark side, they are inflicted with offense down, and constable allies gain offense up for 1 turn. Pretty cool. Okay. If the target enemy was light side, they are inflicted with defense down, and constable allies gain defense penetration up for 1 turn. If the target enemy was outlaw, dispel all buffs on them, inflict buff immunity for 1 turn, which cannot be resisted, and dispel all debuffs on constable allies. So that's pretty cool. He's got a dispel all debuffs on all allies on a basic. That's pretty strong. So not a bad basic ability. I'm just so curious to see what team he's going to go on. So that's pretty cool. First special, second ability called Justified. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Grant a bonus turn to another random constable ally. So bonus turn, that's going to counter daze and turn meter gains to a random ally, which is interesting. Allies that have been damaged since their last turn gain retribution for 2 turns. Otherwise, they gain alert for 2 turns. Enemies that damage constable allies since Cobb's last turn are ability blocked for 1 turn. Otherwise, they are vulnerable for 1 turn. So that is pretty interesting. Not sure how big the damage is going to be. It looks like over here, if you see that he's an attacker, so he might do a lot of damage. So we're going to have to see. That's a pretty cool ability. Next up, High Noons, and this is his second special. Deal physical damage to target enemy increased by 50% per other active constable ally. If this attack is the first time this ability has been used against the enemy, they lose 50 speed and are distracted till the end of the encounter. That was worded weird for me for some reason. That's interesting. Which cannot be dispelled or resisted, and can't deal damage to another constable ally until damaging Cobb. Interesting. If all allies are Constable, Jabba, or Tuskens, they gain buffs until the end of encounter that can't be dispelled or prevented for each unique enemy attacked by this ability. 1 is defense up, 2 is speed up, 3 is execution. What is execution? That is interesting. This ability can't be evaded, so I don't know if... Here we go. Execution. Whenever this character uses a special ability, instantly defeat the target enemy to remove this buff from all allies. Wow, so he's going to have an insta-kill, instant defeat. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like the lore behind it. I like it a lot. Not bad. So, Cobb Vanth getting an insta-kill. This is his TB Omicron. Dispel all debuffs on all allies. They gain 10% max health stacking for the rest of the battle. Constable allies gain 25% health and protection and gain 25% turn meter.
If the target enemy is outlaw, call all constable allies to assist. Constable allies take reduced damage from percent health damage effects until the end of the encounter. Reduce this ability's cooldowns by 6. If this ability defeats an enemy, revive all allies. So if you guys are into TB, not bad at all. The percent health damage reminds me of the Tatooine mission that he's going to do really well. And he has a revive if he kills an enemy with this ability. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool for a TB Omicron. Personally, not into TB Omicrons, but if you guys are, not bad. Now, he's going to be a leader. They look to me to protect them is the name. And this is a lot of text. So let's go over it together. At the start of battle, constable allies gain 25% defense, max health, and offense, and 25 speed, tripled if they are supports. That's a lot of speed. At the start of the encounter, enemy Hutt Cartel, pirates, scoundrels, and smugglers gain the outlaw tag. So that's pretty cool. Whenever outlaw enemies gain bonus turn meter, they can't gain it again for 1 turn. Interesting. Constable support allies at the start of battle reset the cooldowns of their special abilities whenever they use a basic ability on their turn. So that reminds me of like the current Datacron set with that scoundrel level 6. So that's pretty interesting to have in a leadership. Whenever they use a special ability, all allies gain 10% turn meter, and constable allies gain 5% max health, stacking until the end of the encounter. Interesting. Whenever they debuff an enemy at the end of the turn, they also expose the enemy, which can't be resisted until the end of the encounter. Okay, so they're getting exposed to do more damage, can't be resisted. That's pretty cool. Whenever they deal damage, deal an additional instance of true damage. Okay, that's going to ignore defense and stuff like that. Chance effects are increased to 100% at the max rank. Interesting. Can't be defeated while Cobb is active and gain stealth for 2 turns whenever they reach 1% health. So Cobb can't be defeated while Cobb is active, so that makes me think you got to get rid of Cobb Vanth immediately. Cobb, Jawas, and Tusken start the encounter with bonus protection, 75% stacking for the rest of the encounter per constable ally. Whenever an ally Jawa or Tusken applies at least 5 buffs to allies, 1 if it is a taunt, or inflicts at least 5 debuffs on enemies, 1 debuff if that enemy is outlaw, that ally gains the granted ability Deputize. Interesting. Let's see what that does. See the ability Deputize for a description. So we're going to go to that really quick. This is the Deputize ability for, looks like it has different functionality for different teams. It's a lot of text. My God. If you're a Jawa, recover 100% health and protection, gain 25% defense, max health, offense, 25 speed, and the constable tag for the rest of the battle. Inflict the thermal detonator on all enemies for 2 turns. At the start of a constable ally's turn, if there is an active Jawa ally, inflict the thermal detonator on all enemies for 2 turns. Whenever a thermal detonator deals damage to an enemy, constable allies recover 10% health and gain 100% offense for 1 turn. Damn. It's a lot of text. Enemies with a thermal detonator deal 25% less damage. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. That's 1/4 cut damage. That's very good. Limit 1 use per battle. So that's going to be the Jawa Deputize ability. The Tusken one. Recover 100% health and protection. Gain 25% defense, max health, offense, and 25 speed. And the constable tag for the rest of the battle. The strongest enemy without ambushed is ambushed for the rest of the encounter, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Okay. All constable allies gain 10 momentum. Whenever a constable ally is targeted by an enemy and they have at least 10 stacks of momentum, consume all stacks of momentum and stun all attacking enemies for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. Interesting. Whenever constable allies use an ability while they have at least 10 stacks of momentum, they deal true damage equal to 25% of the target enemy's max health, then consume all stacks of momentum. Constable allies gain 5 momentum at the end of their turn if there's at least an active Tusken ally, limit once per battle. So those seem like pretty strong abilities, not gonna lie. Which one's gonna be stronger is the real question. Jawas or Tuskens? I don't know. That's really interesting. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now, to go back to the kit, we want to make sure we get everything covered. The leadership is a Grand Arena Omicron. So if this one reads, if there are at least 3 constable allies, Jawas start the battle with Deputize. Wow. Okay, so they're going to start with that granted ability in GAC. Whenever a thermal detonator deals damage to an enemy, Constable allies also recover 10% protection. Whenever an enemy gains bonus turn meter, they can't gain it again for 1 turn. Okay. Whenever Cobb Vanth uses a special ability, Jawa tanks taunt and gain 100% defense for 2 turns. Stealth enemies have... Wow. Stealth enemies have minus 100% accuracy. That's interesting. So it's going to be... you can't land an ability if you're under stealth. So there's quite a few teams that have stealth. If there is a Jawa ally at the start of battle, allies are immune to thermal detonators. So, goodbye, Jawa. That's crazy. If there's an Jawa ally at the start of battle, allies are immune to thermal detonators. It's a pretty good leadership, I'm not going to lie. That is really cool. We got one more thing to get through for his kit, the Marshal. And this is his unique. This one reads, Cobb has plus 10 speed per active Constable ally at the start of battle. If there is a Jawa ally, Cobb gains Bounty Hunter's Resolve until the end of the encounter. If there is a Tusken ally, Cobb is immune to damage over time. This is pretty cool. So, he's not going to get the dots from Lord Vader. That's pretty awesome. Whenever a Constable ally is damaged by an enemy, that enemy is inflicted with burning for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and can't recover health or protection while burning. Jawas and Tuskens gain 25% turn meter whenever another Constable ally uses a special ability. A lot of turn meter gains I'm noticing. Dark side enemies have minus 100% critical damage. Dark side enemies lose 50 speed for 1 turn whenever they are critically hit by a Constable ally. Light side enemies have minus 100% tenacity. Light side enemies dispel their buffs whenever they critically hit a Constable ally. So, lots of synergies for different types of teams. It looks like you get to choose what you want to do between Tuskens and Jawas. This is crazy, but I don't know where Lobot, Cara Dune, and Culp are fitting in, but we're going to have to see. Constable allies can ignore taunt effects to target outlaw enemies and can't have their turn meter reduced by light side enemies or cooldowns increased by dark side enemies on their respective enemies' turns. Nihilus, Lord Vader, Pirate King Hondo, all cooldown increases. Not going to work. All Constable allies recover health and protection equal to the damage enemies have taken during Cobb's turn. Whenever an enemy starts their turn, reduce the cooldown of High Noons by 1. 2 if the enemy is outlaw. Distracted outlaw enemies can't assist. Very, very interesting kit. He's actually looking way more exciting than I thought he was going to be. I just don't know how it's going to actually perform with all these mid characters on his team. It looks like he's giving them a huge, huge spike. This is the TW Omicron, and it's on his unique. While in TW, and if there are no Galactic Legend allies, if there are at least 3 Constable allies and Cobb is the ally in the leader slot, Tuskens start the battle with Deputize. So it looks like Tuskens might be the way to go in TW. Tuskens no longer consume momentum from Deputize whenever they use an ability with more than 10 stacks. Oh, okay, interesting. If there's a Tusken ally, stunned enemies can't gain bonus turn meter. All distracted enemies can assist. At the start of their turn, Constable allies can ignore taunt effects if they have at least 10 stacks of momentum. Whenever Tusken allies use Deputize, revive Cobb and Tusken allies with 100% health. Tusken allies are immune to damage over time. Whenever Tusken allies use a special ability, Cobb gains protection up 100% for 1 turn. So, guys, this is way more impressive than I thought, and that took a minute to read. That turned this video from like 15 minutes to like almost 30 minutes. So, Cobb Vanth is pretty interesting, and I think he's looking exciting because he looks like to be lifting up really crappy characters, and this new tag is interesting, and we're going to have to see what he's doing to Tuskens, Jawas, and if you go over here to this tag, it's just, look at this tag, look at this. These are 4 characters, Lobot, Cup, and Cara Dune. It's my free-to-play account, so I don't have these characters up and running, but if you guys are willing to spend, if you go in the store right now, I'm pretty sure there's a Cup Lightspeed bundle for the Relic 9. So this might not be a full-blown meme purchase after all. $5 for 1/4 of the team done? I mean, I don't know, guys. I never thought that we would have a Cup lifter unit come to the game, but here we are. So that's going to be the news for today. Very cool stuff. I honestly very excited to see where he's going to land. So let me know down below what you guys are thinking. Do you think he's going to be an awesome character? Are you looking forward to him? Leave it all down below. And as always, guys, don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. You can really use the support. So trying to hit that by the end of April. Thanks you guys again. See you guys in the next one. May the force be with you all. Peace.